What is good? It is your boy Pablo Gray, and we are back with another reaction video. And today we have a Fox News clip, I believe, Tucker Carlson. Title of it is Tucker, rich colleges get bailed out while American people suffer. So yeah, let's see what they got to talk about. Before we start the video, if you like what I'm doing here, you like these reaction videos, you find them informative or entertaining, smash the subscribe button, like, comment, share. I highly appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's get into it.
Well, when Washington bailed out the finance world more than a decade ago after the most recent financial collapse, the government set limits on CEO compensation, and they did it for a reason. Taxpayer bailouts should use to be saving jobs, not making corporate executives richer than they already are. So it's striking by contrast to see that the Department of Education, which began dishing out $14 billion in bailout funds for American universities this month, is not setting similar limits on how much university presidents get to pay themselves. And they pay themselves more than you might think, a lot. Columbia University.
So before I continue this, I'm going to let y'all know. Damn. I don't know too much about how schools work and who gets the money. But what it sounds like, presidents get the money. Presidents of the school get the money. So,
University, for example, is getting $12.8 million in bailout money, despite having an $11 billion endowment. The president of that school, a person called Lee Bollinger, makes more than $2 million a year. In other words, Lee Bollinger is set to collect about 1/6 of the entire federal bailout. Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, a school you probably haven't heard of, and probably for good reason, is getting $4.8 million in bailout money. And amazingly, that's less than University President Shirley Ann Jackson pays herself every year. So perhaps Secretary DeVos can deposit that money directly into her personal checking account.
So what it sounds like is the frustration that's coming from Tucker, I believe, is that these people who make all of this money while being at these schools have all of this money, but they're still receiving money. And the money that they're receiving because of the school bailout is probably to pay faculty, which they're probably included in. And I think what it is that it's just absurd, because if the president comes first, and I mean like the school president comes first on faculty, then their salary is $2 million and the school only gets $4 million, then half of the school's funding goes to the president and then it's dispersed between everyone else in the faculty. I think that's what he's saying. If not, it's still a fucked up idea to even have.
As well. The University of Michigan, which is a public...
Fuck them. Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm sorry. I know this shit is even irrelevant, but I had to say it. We don't fuck with the school up north.
School with more than $12 billion in the bank still got a $25 million bailout. They plan to spend $8 million on their football coach this year. They're still going to lose to Ohio State, which got $45 million.
Shout out to Tucker. Shout out to Tucker Carlson. Listen, I didn't even know you felt this way. Listen, I could care less. At least up until now, I couldn't care less. Doesn't really matter how the fuck you say it. I didn't give a fuck about this man. But I can see we got some similarities because we both cheering on Ohio State and saying fuck the school up north. Thank you, Tucker Carlson.
Million dollars in bailout money. That school pays its coaching staff $11 million. Meanwhile, the University of Pennsylvania, a school for kids on the Harvard wait list, received $9.9 million. The president of UPenn, Amy Gutmann, makes nearly $3 million. That's about a third of the entire bailout. If paying Amy Gutmann is such a priority, maybe the school could find that money in their $14.7 billion endowment. We could go on and on and on. We could cite a dozen examples, in fact, 100 examples. Young people in this country are the poorest group in this country.
I'm glad he is saying it. It's funny that all the rich motherfuckers Because what it sounds like his frustration is all of these rich motherfuckers who control how much they actually make, because they're put in a position that allows them to do so. They're receiving this money from these bailouts, while the people that they're profiting off of get nothing, and they're still in debt. And by the people that they're profiting off of, I mean the students who go to these schools and go into debt to get a degree for something they probably won't even get a job in. Just being realistic.
But the schools that pretend to educate them are the richest institutions we have. They're getting a bailout that young people could only dream of. Why? Because universities are one of the most powerful political interest groups in the nation. And young people are not. And you're not. And that's why the government is blowing billions, giving them cash they don't need at the same time that you're wondering how to pay your mortgage.
Right.
Now, Harvard has announced it won't be taking bailout funds. Why? Because they spent a week being shamed in public over.
Fuck Harvard. They shouldn't take shit. They should be investigated. Probably should shut the whole school down because they doing some fucking foul shit. I said it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck Harvard. They need to go. Shut down the whole institution.
For it because they have a $40 billion endowment. But it shouldn't take shame for Harvard to do the right thing. They should be decent enough to do it. That's a pipe dream. They're not even close to decent. But in the absence of their decency, we need better laws. Not a single cent ever should be spent making rich universities even richer. They do enough harm to this country.
Thank you, Tucker. Let me stop this before it starts trying to replay a video. But the point I want to touch on here is that I'm happy he says something about that, because laws do need to be put in place. And it's sad that they even have a system where people can dictate how much they make, and then they benefit off a federal grant, loan, or whatever the fuck it is, money, a bailout. They benefit from it, and the people under that they are obviously profiting off of, they get nothing. They get absolutely nothing, and it's not right. Colleges cause a lot more debt, and I'm not saying that colleges are completely useless, but a lot of things are non-applicable to the real world, and that's why a lot of people go to school, they go get these degrees, and they try to go get a job, and then they can't. It's because it's nothing like real life experience. Learning in a classroom does not put you in a hands-on environment. That's how humans work best and learn best, is by doing it. That's just what it is. But I think that's just about it for this. I don't think I got anything else to say. The college system needs to change. The educational system needs to change, and how people are going about making money off education needs to change. But I guess that's it. Smash that subscribe button, like, comment, share. Yeah. Appreciate it.